Welcome to the Bible Stories with Gian channel. We will discuss in this video the story of the prophet who saw the throne of God. First part, we are happy to have you here with us. This space was created with great care to share incredible and enriching content with you. We want you to feel comfortable and enjoy each video that we prepare with dedication and love. To help us grow and continue producing quality content, we ask that you subscribe to the channel. God bless. Now, let's get to the video. Ezekiel means God will strengthen or God will prevail. Like Jeremiah, he was both a priest and a prophet. He was among the large group of captives taken to Babylon by King Nebuchadnezzar in 597 BC, 10 years before the destruction of Jerusalem. These captives formed small communities throughout Babylon with some organization and freedom of worship. About 5 years later, at the age of 30 and still in captivity, God called Ezekiel to be a prophet 6 years before the destruction of Jerusalem. His prophecies continued for 16 years after Jerusalem's fall, covering a period of about 22 years. In today's video, we will explore the story of the prophet Ezekiel and his prophecies. Ezekiel's main mission was to act as a watchman in the name of God. His message was addressed to Jerusalem and Judah, mentioned 23 times in the first 24 chapters. Interestingly, the phrase House of Israel appears in 78 verses of the book, while House of Judah is found only 5 times. Many people assume that these terms refer to the same group of people, but this is not the case. All Jews are Israelites, but not all Israelites are Jews. The 10 tribes of the House of Israel had been taken captive to Assyria about 130 years earlier, but the House of Judah remained. At times, Ezekiel used the term House of Israel somewhat loosely, especially in the first 24 chapters, where the context clearly shows that he was addressing the Jews in Jerusalem. Elsewhere, he clearly refers to the situation of the Jews, the House of Israel. God, through Ezekiel, warned them of impending destruction unless they repented and turned from their idolatrous and sinful practices. People were told in no uncertain terms that if they did not heed God's admonitions, they would be held responsible and suffer the consequences of their own actions. Like all prophets, Ezekiel did not just bring a message of condemnation and sadness. Through him, God proclaimed that after the Israelite people suffered humiliation and national deprivation due to their disobedience, he would return to usher in a time of unprecedented peace and harmony among all nations. As King of Kings and Lord of Lords, he will return to establish his righteous rule over the nations. To understand Ezekiel's prophecies, some historical context is necessary. From the time of Moses to King Solomon, about 5 centuries, Israel referred to 12 tribes that formed a nation. However, soon after Solomon's death, the nation split in 2. The northern 10 tribes continued to be called Israel, and the southern tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and part of Levi were called Judah. These 2 nations resided in the land God gave them for more than 2 centuries as independent nations until God finally punished the northern tribes with captivity for their continued disobedience. The 10 tribes that made up the nation of Israel were taken into slavery by Assyria. From there, these people migrated, becoming lost to historians over the centuries. To this day, they are known as the Lost Tribes of Israel. The remaining southern tribes, which formed the nation of Judah, continued for more than a century until their sins became so terrible that God also condemned them to captivity. This time, the conquering nation was Babylon, which deported them in several waves. First prophecy, chapters 4-7. In chapter 4, Ezekiel was to make a model of Jerusalem and attack it. He was then to lie on his left side for 390 days, representing 390 years of wickedness from the house of Israel. Afterwards, he was to lie on his right side for 40 days, bearing the iniquity of the house of Judah. This day-in-a-year principle is found in several other prophecies. Chapter 5 contains one of the most severe prophecies in the Bible, the prophecy of the razor. Here, Ezekiel, with his hair shaved, described how Jerusalem would be punished for its sins. 1/3 of Israel will perish from famine and pestilence, another third will die from military conquest, and the surviving third will be forced into servitude in foreign lands. This prophecy constitutes a warning about